Hey, seventh graders, welcome to day 2 of your engineering internship. This is called Meet the Ingredients. Your learning targets for today, I can evaluate multiple ingredients based on their taste, protein contribution, carbohydrate contribution, and glycemic index. So I will know what ingredients will make the best bar for my target population and their individual health needs. If you guys haven't finished day 1 yet, you need to go do that. If you are gone for day 1, you'll need to come talk to me or talk to your group if you know who they are about which group you guys are, what your target population is going to be, who's all in your group, what's your secret group name, your number, if you will, all that. So make sure you guys finish day 1 first before you guys move into this. Okay, this assignment's going to be a 2-part assignment. Part 1 you'll have to come do in class, whether you grab one of your partners to come do the taste testing with you, or you guys come do it and I can do it with you, that's fine. But this is going to have to happen in class. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you guys through that really quick. You guys have this bell ringer. These are the ingredients we're going to be contending with for the rest of this unit. So we've got raisins, pumpkin seeds, non-fat milk powder, puffed wheat, puffed rice, soybeans, nutritional yeast, chocolate chips, and prunes. If you were given the following ingredients, which do you think has the highest protein content? So circle all you think that have really high protein, and then explain some scenarios where you guys might need a high protein diet. So what are some different scenarios where you might need to get a lot of protein into your body? Think about what we learned about at the end of the last chapter of metabolism. Okay, so how this will work is you guys will not know what you are tasting. It will be one of those 9 ingredients. You guys will close your eyes. Either your partner or I will put a little bit into your designated cup. This is the cup you're going to be using from now until the end of this unit. So do not lose that cup. Do not throw it away. We're going to put just a little bit into your cup and you're going to close your eyes. You're not going to know what you're tasting, so you have an unbiased opinion. And you guys will rank it on a scale of 1 to 10. You will fill out your data on this table here. So this is something that you will need to come in and do to get your individual data. Okay, so once you and your partners have all collected their data for taste testing, record your data by table on the link below. Unless you guys are doing this live while class is going on the day we do the taste testing, you can ignore these 2 links right here. In class, we went ahead and put in some class data to turn into some graphs. But since you guys aren't working on this, or if you're not working on this while that class is working as well, don't worry about adding your data to that. Okay, so go ahead and you guys will just fill out your data right here. Okay, once the whole class has entered their data, grab 1 histogram paper from Mrs. Owens. You will look at the class data and make a bar graph showing the different taste scores for the class. So your group probably already managed this for you. So you'll make sure you make it a point to come look at the board and look at all the different histograms to kind of see where the class felt the taste. So you might have really liked the prunes, but maybe the class as a whole didn't like the prunes. So there's a whole graph that you'll see that looks something like this. Okay, and it'll show, all right, how many students ranked the prunes as a number 1? How many loved them and ranked them as a 10, 9, 8? So you guys will be able to kind of see the distribution of, you know, most kids thought they were like a 7, 8, or a 9, or, you know, most of them thought they were a 1, a 2, or 3 and didn't like the taste. So you guys will kind of get to see an average amount of taste for each of those different ingredients, and that'll help you guys formulate your bar, or a bar that, you know, when we do our taste test with the other class that they're gonna love the taste of. So keep that in mind. Okay, so there's your individual taste scores. Moving on, you'll have to get this information from your group because they came up with a couple combos, about 5 different combos of up to 4 ingredients. So you'll need to get with your group and copy this information from them and kind of just say, all right, how did they think it tasted? Okay, you're more than welcome to put the same combos together that they did and taste them as well. But keep in mind that you can just get this information from your group for these parts here. Okay, so that's a taste testing part where we're tasting all 4 or 5 different combos. Okay, part 2, if you guys are gone, you guys can definitely work on part 2. This is going to be your ingredient analysis. So this is where you guys are going to kind of take a deeper look into the sim that you'll be working with and some of the different things like protein content, carbohydrate content, glycemic index of each of these to know like how they're going to supplement maybe a patient who's bedridden and can't even move out of bed. Okay, so starting off here, part 2, bell ringer, we've got the same question, but we're talking about highest carbohydrate content, so think sugars and starches. So circle all that apply. And then why might you need a diet that's high in carbs? Go ahead and write your answers there. So what kind of scenarios can you think of? Okay, moving on, we talked briefly about glycemic index on day 1, but I just kind of want to point it out to you guys. So it's a measure of how quickly carbohydrates break down into glucose. I think the example that we gave in class was, how many people know someone with diabetes? What kind of foods do they eat that give them kind of immediate glucose for their blood sugar if they're low in blood sugar? And a lot of kids said like juice, honey sticks, like frosting, little candies that are, simple sugars. So those kinds of foods that we're going to get glucose into our blood system really quick and they don't take a long time to digest. Those are going to be really high in sugar and they're going to have a high glycemic index value. Okay, so you guys are going to look at these different food ingredients. So on this slide as well, you guys have this link to an article. I wouldn't even really call it an article so much as a list. When you go into it, make sure you guys go to chapter 3, ingredient information in your table of contents. It should look like this. So again, here's our 9 ingredients. What you'll see is a table and say, all right, raisins have a low protein content, high carbohydrate content, and they have a glycemic index that's high. That means that they have a lot of simple sugars, that when we eat raisins, we're gonna get glucose into our bloodstream really, really fast. Okay, something with a low glycemic index would be like soybeans don't even have a lot of sugar. Okay, so what they do have, it's going to take a long time to digest, so that's going to be low glycemic index. Same with nutritional yeast. Dark chocolate chips actually don't have a ton of sugar in them, so they're going to be low as well. Prunes are going to be a little bit low as well, so keep that in mind. Those ones are ones that you wouldn't want to eat if you were diabetic who was low in blood sugar and you needed some sugar right away. Those might be ones that you would eat where you get a lot of sugar later on. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so look through that table. You're going to need that table to help you answer some of these questions on the next slide and to fill in some blanks on your data table. So what could you eat that gives you immediate energy? Again, you're going to be looking for those high glycemic index foods, ones that are also high in carbohydrates. Okay, what would you eat that gives you long-lasting energy? Maybe something that's high in carbohydrates but has a low glycemic index. Okay, and what could you eat that gives you growth or allows you to grow and repair? Sorry, I need to fix that. You guys want to looking for high protein content there, so circle all that apply. Okay, so a little bit of a kind of review from your bell ringers from the last 2 days. Okay, after you guys are done with that, take a second, pause this video. You're going to watch the recipe test demo video. So that looks like this. You're going to learn just kind of how to work the recipe test Symlink, which is what we're calling it, and then how you're going to isolate individual ingredients today to kind of get their glycemic index and information like that. Okay, and then finally, once you guys are done watching that, you can come back to this video and we'll take a look at the sim. Okay, you're going to use the sim a lot to build different variations and get some great models for our bars. Your Symlink looks like this. Okay, here's all your ingredients. You guys can kind of add, your bar will be 100 grams no matter what. So if I want to do just all raisins, I'm going to hold that down until my whole bar is filled up. So each of these little boxes should represent one of those 100 grams. So if I just wanted 1 gram, it would just show 1 dot lit up with raisins. Okay, all right, so let's kind of take a look back and see what we need to do with this. Okay, first of all, you guys will need to review day 1 and figure out what your group's target population. So I believe first period was the rescue workers, and they were assigned out of the 8 groups, either rescue worker 1, 2, 3, or 4, all of which have different needs. Same with period 2, except you guys are the patients, and of the 8 groups, you guys were again assigned patient 1, 2, 3, or 4, again, all which have different needs. So if you need to, make sure you go back, review day 1, review your needs for your patients and all of that. Okay. For this one then, we have raisins, and I'm going to do raisins for you guys, but I can't really, the thing that's difficult about me doing raisins for you guys is that you guys are going to be either doing, your rescue worker 1. So you're just going to be collecting your data for your target group. So you're only going to have one of these filled out. If you're a rescue worker, circle rescue worker. If you're a patient, circle patient. And then you'll just do whether you're number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of fill in all of these. So if I go, I'm going to fill up just raisins, so 100 grams of raisins. So this would just be a protein bar made on nothing but raisins. Say I'm first period rescue worker, I'm going to be rescue worker number 3. Okay, so I can look right here and say, all right, if I have just 100 grams of raisins in this bar, that's 3 percent protein. So there's not a ton of protein in there. So I would go in here and write 3% protein. Okay, that's a low value. So if I look in this table underneath, I'm going to go ahead, use my draw tool or highlighter to circle. That's low. Okay, carbohydrates, I'm going to come here and say, all right, my carbohydrates are 97%. So there's a ton of sugar in there, a ton of carbs. Okay, and then my glycemic index is going to be 64. So the range for glycemic index is a little different. It's not a percentage. It's not just on a scale from 1 to 10. So, or excuse me, 1 from 100. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to look at this and say 97. That's a high carbohydrate concentration. For this one, that's also going to be high glycemic index. So a lot of sugar that's getting into our bodies from that. Okay, then I'm going to look at the taste. Figure out, all right, a taste score is 8, so it looks like a lot of people kind of like raisins there, which I don't disagree with them. Okay, cost per 1 bar is 74 cents, so I put on there 74.74. And then if we had $10,000, how many people could we feed with these? We'd look and say I could feed 13,513, so 13,513. Okay, so that's my data I'm going to fill out there, and then I'm going to go ahead and pretend I am rescue worker number 3. So I'm going to choose rescue workers here. My oxygen is going to be normal, and I'm going to send that to the lab and say, all right, rescue worker 3. Okay, growth and repair needs, I'm at 31% met for that. So, and then if I go down here, so if I need protein, okay, I'm only getting 31% of what I need there. And I want to get the higher values for these. Okay, so I'm going to look and say, all right, growth and repair, I'm rescue worker 3, 31%. Okay, for this one, I've got 15 minutes. That's going to be our short-term energy. So that's going to be 48% short-term energy. So immediate energy, 48%. And then long-term energy, I'm going to put on there 31%. You guys are going to want to run this test again because you'll get different values there. So notice how I just filled in for rescue worker 3. So that's going to be how you guys fill that in. Then you're going to run a bar with just pumpkin seeds and see the same thing again. You guys would fill out for just whatever your target group is. Okay, the non-fat milk, the puffed wheat, puffed rice, soybeans, nutritional yeast, dark chocolate, prunes. Okay, once you guys are done with that, on the next 2 slides, you will find the corrected metabolic needs for each of the 8 target populations. Grab a day 2 summary data, 1 table per person. In the first column of your data table, fill out the numerical ranges for your target's group protein, target groups protein, carbohydrate, and glycemic index need. You are not writing low, medium, or high, but rather writing the correct number range for these needs. So I was doing rescue worker 3 for this one, so I'm going to continue doing that. This one's my patients, so ignore that one if you were rescue workers. Okay, otherwise ignore this one if you were my period 2 patients. Okay, so here we go. I'm rescue worker number 3. I'm going to record my corrected needs. So I need medium protein. Okay, this is what this form looks like. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to write, all right, my need for this is medium, but notice how it said I need the numerical range. So I'm going to put medium, and then next to it, I'm going to go back to that slide and choose, all right, for protein, medium is 34 to 66. So I'm going to write on there, most importantly, that this is from 34 to 66, because this is really where I'm going to annotate, okay? So this is my needs. Highlight that maybe red if that helps you. My carbohydrate needs, I go back to that sheet. For patient 3 is high, and then my glycemic index is medium. So I'm going to say high, and then medium, but then again, go back and get your range here. So carbohydrates high is 67 to 100. So 67 to 100. And then for our glycemic index, medium is going to be 31 to 60. So again, go down here. Now that we have the actual range that we're looking for, that's going to help us kind of target whether we have all the things we need in here. Okay, so what you're going to do then is you're going to go back through and you're going to kind of grab this data that you guys want to say, all right, for my target population, what's my need? Okay, here's my needs over here. And then I'm going to look and say, all right, with raisins, which I already did, okay, I was 31, 48, 31. So I'm going to go in here and say 31, 48, 31. You don't necessarily have to fill in this data here, but what you guys are going to be doing on that is if we go down to this next slide, after you've gone through and highlighted the pink and green of all your data, so let's take a look back at that really quick. So once you guys are going to go through, you're going to say, if you were assigned the rescue workers as your target population, go back through the data from your 9 ingredients and highlight the areas that would suit the needs of your rescue workers. So if I know that I'm doing rescue worker number 3, I know I need medium protein. So I'm going to go back through and say, all right, medium protein is between 34 and 66. If it fits that need, I'm going to highlight it green. So I'm going to go up here to raisins and grab my green highlighter because I am one of the rescue workers. And I'm going to say, all right, I need between, what did I just say, 31 rescue workers between 34 and 66. So if I look at my first data, my protein wouldn't work, so I would not highlight that. As far as immediate energy, I'm at 48%. Okay, so if I go look on here, you know, where am I at with each of these? Okay, so I'm going to go through and highlight where I'm good. Okay, and then finally, you guys are going to take a look at your data table here. If that ingredient is exactly where it needs to be, you're going to put a star. Okay, if it is too low for the range you need, you're going to put a minus, and if it's too high, you're going to put a plus. So this is the table that we're going to do. Actually, we're going to go into our draw tool, and we're going to say, all right, if it's perfect, we're going to put a range. So this one was too low, so I'm going to do a minus sign on this box. Okay, my total carbohydrate need was 48. I need between 67 and 100, so I'm going to put a minus sign. Okay, if it was too high, I'd put a plus sign. If it was just right, I'd star it. Okay, and then finally, glycemic index. This one is right at my bottom range, so I'm going to put a star on there. Okay, so you guys are going to go through and annotate all 3 of these for your specific group. So at the end of this, I should have this piece of paper from you guys where I see your name, who filled it out, who your group members are, and then also all of these ingredients with either pluses, minuses, or stars in each of these boxes. Again, I don't need the numbers in here. I just need the stars, pluses, and minuses. Okay, so this is going to be kind of your annotation tracker to help you guys understand, all right, which one of these ingredients do I have the most stars for my target population? If I'm looking at specific combinations, which different ingredients can I put together to make the ultimate bar that's great for my thing? And also you can take cost into consideration as well. Okay, so after you guys have gone through and highlighted either green or pink for all your areas that fit well for you guys will, again, grab that piece of paper from me. You might need to wait and get it when you're back at class, and then you'll finish your annotations. Then you'll go ahead and do your exit ticket for today. Examine your day 2 summary data table. That's the paper sheet, so you won't be able to finish your exit ticket till you're done with your paper sheet. Circle the ingredients that you feel would best suit the needs of your target population. So maybe you guys have a couple that have 3 stars, maybe you have a couple that have 2 stars, maybe you have a couple that only have 1. So which one do you think would be best for your target population? Circle all that apply. And then you guys will turn in that table to the back box for safekeeping because you guys will need it again. Okay, with that being said, that is day 2. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.